Hello, everyone. Hello. Hold on a second. Make sure I'm turned up. Because my last video wasn't that loud. Hello. How are you? So glad to be back with you. I know y'all, some of y'all are looking at me like, don't be sitting up here smiling and you can take this long, get another video. Don't be mad at me, y'all. Come on. I told you. I make videos based on, but I have something exciting that I am so excited about that I want to talk to you about. So, we're going to be doing a 10-week, and I know some of y'all are like, 10? Yeah, because working on yourself is an investment. You did. So we're going to be working on a 10-week quantum self-love theme, if you want to say it. And with that, I'm going to give you videos. Each one is going to last a week, but you're also going to get homework to do. If you choose to do it, that's up to you. But don't say you won't change. You ain't going to put the work in. See, we had this conversation about you putting the work in, right? And so Big Mama is sitting up here and holding you accountable. You say you won't change, right? And if, and some people be like, well, I don't have the money to be in this program. I don't have the money to do that. That's okay. I can give you the stepping blocks, the beginning steps of where you need to go with that. You ain't got no excuse. Okay? So, today, with that being said, today is going to be an introduction to quantum self-love and what it is. And what I need for you, because this is kind of heavy, and it's going to be scientific, and it's going to be spiritual, and it's going to relate, though. It's going to relate. I wrote it out, not freewheeling it. So what I need from you is your time to be open and to listen and understand. It's going to be everything that we've talked about already that you're going to understand. Okay. All right. So here's your introduction. All right. What does quantum have to do with self-love? Right? Some of you, especially those that are scientists, oh my goodness. Your if-then statements to life, not paying attention to extraneous factors. Come on now, y'all know data sets, and you have extraneous factors and data sets when it comes to a control group. Those of you that are psychology people, you know this. It's the same thing when you collect data in science. You have outlying factors. Not everything is an if-then statement. Okay? But most things are, right? Why am I saying that? Well, there are varying effects of quantum mechanics, right, that coincide with self-love growth. And we're going to get to that. So why quantum? Well, if you know quantum mechanics, you understand that the behavior of particles in their environment and then actions are disposition to natural flow, right? In other words, the flow of things and then how they're acting to, in particular, particles when it comes to quantum mechanics, and how they act upon the environment and acted on them, the environment that they're in, and any force that's enacted upon them. Okay? Natural flow. Okay? And when certain things are imposed on these particles, there's a pattern that develops based on this natural flow. Okay? And in looking at particles and the behavior of particles, it actually is very similar to the behavior of people and how they move and act. Hence, because of our cells and DNA. Don't have me get scientific. Okay, so anyway, sorry, I love science. Okay, so anyway, look at our cells, our DNA, and everything that has an energy flow and a behavior in which it acts, right? Well, quantum self-love is paying attention to how we, the host, okay, act to produce the patterns and energy output to receive back what we put out. So we are looking at and we're studying the outlying factors of our internal environment and external environment. We are the particle. We move with different particles and things hit us. That's sociology speaking, right? Because you're looking at a group of particles and how they act and how they move and how they think. And then you have outlying factors that come in and you change the behavior of that. And then you're measuring, right? Same thing happens with a person and their internal and external environment and things acted upon them. So we have talked about, you have been through this with Big Mama. You didn't even know. So we talked about karma, consequences, law of consequences, Everybody talks about the law of assumption. You notice I don't. There's a reason. I talk about the law of love. That is the most important thing I talk about. The mirror, talked about that. Universal laws, carrying crosses you don't need to bear, all this other kind of stuff. We didn't talk about a lot of stuff, right, on my channel. All of it was to get to this point. All I was doing was giving you gems to lead you to your next step to do this work of yourself, quantum self-love. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to give you a side note. You see this smile? Okay, let me tell you about this smile, because you're going to see me do this every once in a while. Okay. I used to warn my students, if you ever see Miss Jones, Miss Divine, because they call me the one, do this smile. There's a reason I'm up to no good. So every time I step in the classroom, I'll be like, they're like, oh, what's she gonna do? What's she gonna do, right? I don't tell people sometimes. I'm very psychological how I do stuff. I don't tell people what I'm doing, where I'm leading them. I just lead you there. You either say yes or no. Spirit does that. My father did that. There's reasons. Because if you push against the current and we tell you, we don't know if it's a real reaction. But if you push against the current and we don't tell you, and you push against the current, you're not ready. There's no need to waste time on that. Okay? So let's get back. So we talked about all these things on my channel, right? So let's take a look at Newton's laws. Oh my goodness. Do you realize how all three of those laws work all the time in our life? And my program is heavy on these. If you understand Newton's laws, and if you ever took a physics class and you ever understand that, you will understand quantum mechanics. And you will understand the functions of life is not just dealing with particles and stuff like that, but it's also, you will see it present. That's why I say science is not separate from spirituality at all. In fact, they go hand in hand. They just lied to you about that. So anyway, in particular, we're going to look at the third one. To every action, there is a greater or equal reaction enacted upon it, right? So, also the law of the mirror as well acts this way. Law of consequences, law of karma. They act this way. Why? Because it has to enact a balance. If you notice, if our bodies are out of homeostasis and we're off, what do we get? Cancer, diabetes, hypertension, we get obese, we get so many different things if our body is not in balance. If our spiritual body is not in balance, our aura field and theory field and stuff like that is not in balance, right? What do we get? We get pains on the spiritual side that manifest in the physical side. Everything has to be in balance. But let's look at it from a law of universe standpoint, why everything has to be in balance. Here's why it's important. Because since everything is energy, and energy is neither created nor destroyed, it has a flow somewhere. It has to flow somewhere. So in other words, if someone does right over here, someone is doing wrong over here to balance it out. That's why you have good and evil in the first place. If we didn't need the balance, there would be no need for one or the other. It would be one or the other. So that's why you have right or you have wrong, right? That's why there's a mirror. There's the law of opposites. So energy gets moved around all the time. All the time. It has to take from this place. If it takes from this place, it has to give over here. If it takes from this place, it has to give over here. If this one has this one has light, this one has to have dark. The law of opposites. That's how you maintain balance, right? There has to be, so for example, take a winner and a loser, right? Someone gets a job, someone else didn't get the job. Then someone else gets another job somewhere else. That other somewhere didn't get that job. You understand what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. That's how the cog works of the machine, but that is also how energy works. It is moved. It is moved around. It is displaced and put back. That's how it moves, right? So, energy keeps on moving. It is not static. It is not meant to be static. We are not meant to be static. Things happen in our body physically when we're static. Not gonna go into that. But so if one person doesn't fulfill their contract of coming back here, right? Which, keep in mind, it is you in connection with other people, because they have their own contracts with themselves and with you. And it's the same way and so on and so forth when we know someone. Okay. We have contracts that we made to meet these people before and stuff like that. So, if we don't fulfill it, it gets given to another, because since we're no longer a part of that picture, someone else has to be put a part of that picture. It is easier to change the person than it is easier to change the picture. But sometimes the universe and spirit have to change the picture. It depends on how big the happening is. Okay. So the universe fulfills whatever has been set, or it can change the whole situation instead of changing just the people, right? Destiny. It's already set up what is going to happen, but we have a choice. And then, so what happens is we don't satisfy it. Destiny removes us. We become karmic. That other person then takes the higher place where that karmic was supposed to be. The karmic now stays in that karmic space until they raise up, and then someone's going to take their place somewhere else with the same type of lesson or similar. Okay. But we still have the choice, and the choice is what we're able to adjust, or what we are able to choose, right? And the universe will adjust in kind. So you have destiny set up, meaning what you're going to do is already set what you're going to do. You've done it before. Either you make the choice to change or you don't, and then you repeat the lesson if you don't. Or if you do choose to change it, guess what? You move up to another rung, similar type of situation, almost similar type of stakes, similar type of test, seeing if you're going to pass it. And if you don't necessarily move down unless you keep doing it. Then you'll move back to where you were, and then you got to repeat. Or you stay there, you fix it, and then you move up. Universe is the one that moves around you in justice in kind. Okay? So, based on our behavior and what is enacted upon us, just like the particles, is how we change and move. Based on our behavior and what is enacted upon us, right? Just like how a particle is treated. Okay? Just like how a particle moves. Your energy output brings you to your thought, your speech, and your action. Okay? Your energy output is based on these things. Now, frequency, amplitude, wavelength. Hello, Miss Tina. Those are important. It is not just about frequency. Everyone goes on frequency, but understand something. If you understand physics, you will understand that your amplitude and wavelength is just as important. Hello, love. It is just as important. So those have to be adjusted too based on the frequency. Okay. Look up wave particle theory and look up wave theory in physics, and you'll understand what I'm saying, but I'm not going to go into that. That's not the point. So in looking at quantum mechanics, right, when you have something enacted upon you of your environment, whether internal, because it goes external to internal, okay, your thoughts, speech, and actions determine your behavior, your habits that determine your behavior, okay? And those environments shape what we believe. Not thinking sometimes they can change. Of course they can. Energy is ever moving, right? Our thoughts move around all the time. There is always a choice to change it. We just may not know what those choices are at the moment, but we can always change them. We can always change the internal environment. So in other words, let me put it like this, okay? It's a loop. So we have things enacted upon us from our external environment. We internalize those. Right? We output what that external did to us. We fester, we output back out to the external environment. And then we don't understand while we are manifesting or not, mainly what we need. Notice I didn't say want, what we need, because a lot of things we need to manifest is what we need. Okay. And we're not doing it, or we don't see it, but we're not paying attention to our basic energy output for it. Does that make sense? So these external and internal environments and this behavior, okay, forming these habits, this is directly affects how we manifest. This directly affects how we manifest our external environment. Keeping this, it's too hard, I can't, all this lack mentality. Well, of course, it's easy to sit in lack mentality when it seems like shit always happening to you and you're like, what's going on? And I know you be hearing this, you got to be happy and you got to fake it. You can't fake it till you make it. Your subconscious knows. I don't understand why they sit up again and say it doesn't hear negative. Yes, it does. That's why you don't get anything. It does hear. It hears everything, but it will manifest what you believe to be. That's why your thoughts, your speech, and your actions are so important. You have to manage those. People don't pay attention. So what happens then when you do all that? I can't, I won't, and all that, right? What happens is no change. What happens is you stay in lack and you can't see beyond that. It is not just being in lack. It is also paying attention that the particles now are keeping still and not moving. So you're not manifesting. If you want to relate it to quantum mechanics, particles are keeping still, not moving. And energy is supposed to be moving to bring forth, because energy does not stay static. The moment it stays static, that's your lower vibration. That's that lower frequency where now it's like that. That's that lower amplitude and wavelength. Have you looked at a wave? When it gets lower and lower, it almost starts looking like a line where it looks like it doesn't move. Okay. So you start manifesting the wrong things because you can manifest the wrong things. Trust and believe that. And then you're trying to figure out why you're manifesting the wrong things. I don't understand. And then you have other people's energies coming into your energy and you can't block them and you don't understand why. And it's a snowball effect, right? Okay. Quantum self-love changes that. This is why my program is based on that. And this is why it's so important to teach people quantum self-love. You look inside yourself to see where this even began. The behavior. What was the environment that was enacted upon you? But more so, what was it that changed your internal environment in the first place? That's right. Always. Always. You got that right, Miss Tina. Always. And so what you got to look at to change the behavior. Some people believe you ain't got to go back and do all that. Well, really? Because it sits in your subconscious and it doesn't go away until you do change that. Until you tell your subconscious, no, it's really this way. But you got to believe it here to know that. You got to feel it in your intuition. It is a mind, body, heart thing that you got to put together, right? So it's real simple. It's a behavior thing. To get your binary switch, to code it in you to be like, okay, no, it's this. You got to look at what caused this internal change for me to believe this. And then, because usually it happens when we're children and teenagers, right? And then we stay with it because we want to be included and stuff. No, loves. You have your own mind at some point. And I know, being a teacher, I understand for my teens that your parents, I know we forget y'all are on loan to us and we're supposed to teach you how to do this. This is what we're supposed to teach you how to do. So you can do it for yourself and you're already there when you're an adult. I know a lot of parents don't know that though. So, what you're doing is you're changing that which you thought, was right for you. And you may be seeing it's not right for you. It doesn't suit you correctly. It's not bringing forth the right things for you. It may have for that other person. Do you sometimes say, well, that worked for that person. That's not working for me because, baby, they're not you. You have your own energy, your own experiences. It's different for you. Thank you. It's different for you. So what may work for somebody may not work for you. May not even be your belief, right? So you got to find what's right for you. to bring out the right behavior, form the right habits. So this is basically what it is. Look at your behavior from the habits. Change the habits, change the thought, change the speech, change the action, change the mindset. Okay? And then the outlook changes. That is the snowball effect. It is like going small to big. All right? Exactly. We are, Miss Tina, really, like for real. And we have to be the ones that show them how to do it. Because unfortunately, the youth today are being so bombarded with this negative stuff because that's all they keep showing. And then they become obsessed with it. And then that's what they keep producing. No. Absolutely, Miss Tina. Absolutely. We do have to change how we react. And it's hard because we were programmed a particular way. And then we have to change it. I get you. I dig it. So the spiral gets bigger as you learn more. As you use self-love and you learn more, the spiral grows and it gets bigger. And this is what I mean. So if you're lower vibrational and you making those changes real time, and then you start noticing, you start elevating a little bit each time it gets bigger and bigger, you start healing more. Guess what happens as you spiral up? You start to see more, get more downloads. Your intuition gets stronger. Your love gets stronger for yourself. And then that's when you really start to see. And what I mean by start to see is you start to see, oh, I was doing that. I shouldn't have been doing that. Oh, that's what caused me not to have that. I acted like that. You start to be able to solve your problem yourself. You see what I'm saying? I'm sorry, love. I understand. I got some of my kids. I understand. I understand. But you know what? She's going to have to come, or your daughter's going to have to come to her own realization in her time. And she will, because this is her journey that she's going to have to walk. It's all right. She will. So, see things in terms of love. Love is the vehicle. That's why it's quantum love. Love is the mechanism that's bumping you, and your particles are going all over the place. You're the particle. You're going all over the place. All of us do in love. But that's what it's meant to do. That's what love does. When we have stuff that hits us, right, that is so hard to handle, and we can't figure out how to. And you know, when you get to that point where you break down and you are just like, I can't anymore, and you sit, that calm you feel is when love comes in. And it's like, are you done now? Are you stop? Have you finished talking so I can now do what I'm supposed to do within you to help you see? At that point, we're too tired to fight. Have you noticed that's when we get our answers? That's when we get what we're looking for, that we've been looking for the whole time, because we actually sat down and shut up for love to be able to work through us and do what it needs to do. Love is the quantum change. That's what sets that quantum change in motion. Newton's, I can't remember his first, second law. Newton's law, where you will stay static unless there is a greater or equal force that hits you, but it can't be equal because they can get net zero. So if there's a greater force that hits you to move, you won't move. Likewise, you'll stay in motion until something comes along, and then you're like, whoa, and you got to keep still. That happens in our life all the time. When we move too fast, there'll be things to slow us down. When we move too slow, there'll be things to speed us up. We don't make change unless something comes along and hits us, right? That's love. That's what love does. That's our love lessons. That's the stuff we hate to go through. But you promised to go through them to learn, loves. We all did. We just don't remember how hard some of us set that dial on, you know. So it's okay. It is all right. You understand it's not personal. When you use love, you understand it's not personal to you. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that there aren't some spirits out there that will attach to you and hurt you on purpose. Yes, there are. There are. They're meant to. Because they're meant to test you and see what you will do. Because remember, nothing moves and does anything the spirit doesn't allow. There are many other things out there, don't get me wrong, and they don't follow that spirit that we may follow. But They enact things and then they watch to see what we're going to do. But we don't ever have anything too hard. Why? Because you are here listening to me today and you're still on this planet. That means you are strong enough to continue to walk your journey. And you had to have love somewhere in your life that you gave or received to continue to walk this journey. That means you're strong enough. See, it's not you being successful where you think you are that tells you you're strong enough. That's not a proof of being strong enough. That's just a proof of I was strong enough. I made it and I achieved this skill. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you're still here. You're breathing. You're thriving. You may be surviving. You're living though. So you were strong enough to walk through what you walked through because you're still here. And some people may say, well, I'm barely, baby, be grateful you still breathing. That means you still get to experience and you still get to learn. Because when we pass on, we're just on another level of doing the same crap that we didn't learn, but we're one step up, which makes it harder and harder each step up we go. Okay? So applaud yourself for the strength you have because you're still going. You always give yourself your accolades. Give yourself your accolades because this life is hard. Okay? So we get stronger with the right tools each step we go. All right. Love does that, but you got to know what it is. Love does that. All right. And when we learn and we master certain pieces, guess what we're to do? We're to teach someone else. When we see someone else going through what we've already been through, that's the love of another, right? We're to teach them. Hey, you don't want to do that. Because X, Y, and Z. When my father walked this plane, okay, that's all he did. He taught what he knew. When we have the rules, and I don't call them rules, okay, because I'm going to do me, and my father knows me. But when we have these rules, right, we have them for a reason. One, to either stop us from doing something because it's a bigger snowball effect that we don't understand what it'll bring. So it's like, you don't even want to do that in the first place. I'm trying to tell you. But then, as I always say, if you love you, you really don't have to think about what you wouldn't do in the first place because you wouldn't do it. Why? Because you love yourself too much to do that stuff. And I'm not talking about what man has thrown in for rules. I'm talking about what the actual rules were, right? But you got to understand the time and the people that they applied to. And then later on what ended up happening. So once you learn one, or once you learn enough, you're to teach someone else. You're to pay it forward to someone else. That's how we all change. That's how we share love with one another. You're not to be perfect. You're already perfect. In your flaws. You are already perfect in your flaws because you were made to be you, not somebody else. And someone else was not made to be you. Okay? If they wanted you to be somebody else, you'd be a clone and not made by man. Okay? So even twins are separate. So don't even play that game. So once we teach another, so on and so forth, that's why quantum self-love is so important. We are not different from science at all. Quantum self-love is just applying the techniques of quantum mechanics to get that change, to make that change. And I take it, and I take you back to the crap that's in there and getting you to understand you can chuck it at any time. You can start over in any moment, not any day, any moment. Do you understand what that means? You make a mistake in one moment, the next moment you be like, no, you know what? I made a mistake. I am so sorry. My apologies. Whether they accept it or not, you did it. You did what you needed to do. They don't accept it. Baby, bye. That's on you now. Every moment. You don't need to wait the next day. You can wait the next breath. Do you understand how important it is realizing that you can change it at any time? Without penalty, without paying anything, it's free. All that's required is you love yourself enough to do it. That's it. And some people are like, oh, I can do that. Hold on. I didn't say the self-love journey was easy. You have to be authentic Because self-love makes you authentic and truly look at you. And you have to be willing to look at you and not judge you. Did you hear what I said? Look at you, love you, not judge you, help you. Baby, it sure is. It sure is. Good, bad, ugly, straight, whatever. It don't matter. Love is love. Love is all. Love is what brings you your lessons. Love is what whoops your ass. Love is what raises you up, but love is also what brings you down. And as I always say, it is always for a reason, for your betterment, whether we like it or not. And love demands everything from you because it gives you everything. But you can't have that everything until you love yourself. Because you won't understand love at all unless you love yourself. That is number one. And please believe, it is not selfish at all. It is boundaries. It is letting those go that don't understand. And just understanding you don't understand at the moment. It is loving your enemies, because understand, your enemies was that force to make you move to be better. Not revenge. But you're looking at them, and then in love, you're able to see, you know what? I wouldn't have moved if it wasn't for them. My change is not a credit to them, but they made me move. Yes, that includes that person that hurt us and treated us so bad because we would, in my case, too heavy. So what do? We get up and we try to be sexy, but guess what? We end up making our body healthy because that hater did what they did. How can one love another if they can't love themselves? Here's how. We always love, and if I'm not answering it, let me know. We always love everyone else other than us, right? They can't love you properly if they don't love themselves. See, that's why I teach people to love themselves. Here's why. When you love yourself, you will be able to feel in your intuition when someone is right for you and it is not. You can't love another. You won't even know how to love another if you don't love you. And you can't teach someone else to love you if you don't know how to love you. How can you teach them how you're supposed to be loved? You don't know. You see what I'm saying? So no, baby. I tell couples all the time, and people, before you get in a relationship, because I've had some clients, boy, they be like, I'm horny and I want my love and I want my person. I'm like, I understand that, but you don't even love you. You don't even love you. You can't even teach them how to love you, and you don't know how to love them. No, you got to wait. You turn that love inwards to you. That's who needs it. That child, that adult, you. And baby, that is the hardest thing to do because we believe what everyone else says about us. No. You cannot love another properly. You can love them, but not the way they need to be, not properly, because you don't have a proper understanding of how you need to be loved by you and other people. But unfortunately, you can say that until the cows come home. Until they see it and understand it, they're not going to get it. And I'm glad you asked that question, because in order to understand it, the first thing we got to do is understand there is something wrong going on in my life. There's something not happening here that I need to happen. And so how do I fix it? Then we go and tell them, what the hell is that? I don't understand. Well, if we say you need to love yourself, what does that mean? You don't even know what love is then. You have no clue. That's your telltale sign right there. You have no clue. And then we have to let them. You can tell them what you tell them, but you're going to have to wait until they understand. But trust me, spirit will. That's what I'm talking about. And it's going to come. I've seen that. When you hold out for the love that is for you, the only thing I don't like about it is divine timing. Ooh, but you know what? The universe has to move things around. I said earlier that the universe has to move either people and or circumstances to make that happen. And that's a lot of movement because all those lessons go with it and all that stuff go with it. So that's why you need divine timing. But my love, you keep going and building you and you being that bright light and that bright star. And let me tell you, only the one that's going to see it, is supposed to see it, will see it. Trust and believe that. Trust and believe that. We all want someone to love us the way that we love us. And it's not arrogance. It is not narcissism. Absolutely not. That's right. And wait on that. Wait on that. When you truly, that's the other thing too people don't understand, is when you truly love you, you're not lonely. You're just alone. That's not the same as being lonely. If you're lonely, there's some more self-love work you got to do. I'm so serious. But again, sometimes wisdom comes at certain ages. So, you know what I'm saying? It depends. It depends on the person. So I'm going to be doing a 10-week series on the steps of quantum self-love, and with some helpful free activities that you can use to keep track of and work on you. I realized that, I think it was a couple of months ago, about 6 months ago, I had started doing something and I didn't continue it on. So this is a 10-week series of self-love development. Basically, just beginning stage stuff. There are a lot of coaches that don't work on the gritty down here. I work on the gritty down here so you can get to them. So you can see your change and make permanent change. That's what quantum self-love does. Makes permanent change in your life through certain techniques and strategies. So it is time for you, whoever you are, to join this love army, because we got a lot of work to do. Thank you, my love. Thank you. I've been through a lot to get it, let me tell you. But it is time for we all to join this love army. We are love warriors. If you are on this plane, walking your path, getting your butt kicked, and you kicking butt right back, you're a love warrior. You may not know it, but you're a love warrior. Love has claimed you a long time ago. You just not paying attention. But you got to pay attention. Okay? So it's time. The question is, are you ready? And I have this thing where I said, love speaks. Are you listening? You did? So just a couple of things. This is week 1 and just telling you what quantum love is. Okay. I will be posting, I will put in the YouTube, and I'll see if I can attach it to this live, in the comments, a worksheet to work on for this particular week. I will be having a group for this where these can be posted and we can work and talk with each other, because the community is very important. Community, I can't tell you enough, community is important. And I will be, my lives actually are also on my YouTubes. If you're not familiar with my YouTubes, I'm there, Transformational Tantra. I have so many videos on self-love and so many things, and how love relates to everything. Some of the language is fragrant. Sorry, I'm me. But I will be moving it to my website as well. So it'll be also accessible on my website, not just YouTube. YouTube is not letting me have some of these things seen. For some reason, self-love is the one we need the most, and it's not letting, algorithm not letting it be seen. So, please like, share, and subscribe. Please share this so we can get this word out and change our world and teach our children correctly, to love who they are, that they're brilliant, and not to believe this system, please. And not to give in to this matrix. No, because the universal matrix is mirrored in our DNA on the subatomic particle level. We are a part of the whole kit and caboodle. And so we must teach our children this. And yes, I actually do have a program that I will be putting hopefully in schools, because they need to know who they are. And I have spent too many years teaching children where they just feel so lost. Brilliant minds, all type of schools, urban, rural, brilliant, nowhere for it to go. And not believing and loving who they are. More afraid of what someone's going to say about, no, babe, you got to learn not to care. We got to teach our children that. So, and also please click the notification bell as well. If you're on YouTube, and please share if this is on Facebook for you. I really appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for spending time with me and listening to the change that we need to make and where we need to go. Okay, because we're going to get there. Big Mama's going to take you there. That's why I'm here. I know my job. And I do my job no matter what. So please like, share, subscribe. Tune in anytime if you want to be a part of the community. Please do bring yourself in. Bring other folks in. Let me know. And I can go ahead and start that. I'm also going to have one for losing weight. As you see, I'm Big Mama. But a lot of times we're not losing weight because of these issues. And we hold on to stuff. It is my pleasure, Miss Tina. It is my pleasure. Thank you so much for joining in. I know I was wordy. I'm sorry. But thank you so much for joining in. I want everyone to know I love you. If you think that there's someone in this world that doesn't love you, no, there are some people and some of us that just love people. We may not like everybody. Okay. That's how healers are. We don't like everybody. We don't have to like you to love you. We love you. We need at the very least to love you and understand. Okay. Absolutely. And when we are guided to wake up, baby, you already know we better. Or something is coming our way to make us. You know what I'm saying? I know that's right. I know that's right. Love Big Mamas. Love, because we need them. And we need them now more than ever, even for our younger women and the women that's acting crazy. And I don't know what they're doing. But we are definitely needed. And I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. I love you all. Have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend. Namaste.